Hey everybody, how's it going? Bill Butler here with another thrilling and exciting edition of the Melrose Scoop. I am absolutely honored to have Manisha Bewtra here. She is running for Alderman-At-Large this year. You're our first guest on the Scoop.
Excellent. Awesome.
Running for office this year, so thank you so much for joining us.
I'm honored. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you. Like, where are you from? And
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Iowa, believe it or not, and I've lived in a number of different places over my childhood and part of my adult life. I moved to Massachusetts in 2008. When I moved here, I lived in Cambridge, and moved to Melrose in 2013. And when my husband and I moved here, I think on our first day moving in, we felt right at home right here in Melrose. You know, it was like there were some nerves of being in a new neighborhood and what is it going to be like. And I still remember the feeling of every single one of my neighbors coming to introduce themselves and feeling right at home and part of a community, which is what I was looking for when I moved here.
Well, that's great. Very cool. So you've been in Melrose a while.
Yeah.
And a fellow Midwesterner. I'm from St. Louis.
Excellent.
Right
yes.
on. Love that. So tell us a little bit about kind of what your vision is and what inspired you to run.
Sure. Well, I've been interested in public service my whole life. I am a professional city planner.
Yeah.
I've worked in the public sector and nonprofits for most of my career, and I've always been looking for ways to get involved in my community, build community, make community wherever I go. It's just sort of naturally what I do, and running for office seemed like a logical next step. In the time since I've moved to Melrose, I have gotten involved. I'm on the Human Rights Commission here locally. I've also, through my day job at the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, had the opportunity to work with the Office of Planning here in the city to dig a little deeper into local policy. And those things combined got me thinking a little more specifically, but in terms of running for office, I think it's always been a lifelong dream. I've taken a number of different programs to learn about what public service and running for office is all about, and just completed, I just graduated from a program called Emerge Massachusetts.
Cool.
And I think, you know, that just got me really psyched and geared up to run a campaign. That was always sort of, you know, there was always what happens after you get elected, and that all makes a lot of sense to me. Like, you know, serving the public, hearing from constituents, weighing different policies, being at a table with 10 other people and trying to make decisions, that part feels very natural to me. What Emerge and these other training programs has made me really psyched to campaign.
Great.
And to go knocking on doors. We're going to be kicking that off June 24th. If you want, you should check out my website, ManishaForMelrose.com. If you scroll down, there's a way to sign up for my email newsletter, and that's how people can find out how to get involved in the campaign. But yeah. Okay,
great. And Arnie says hello. You know Arnie Fertig?
Yes. Fellow Human Rights Commissioner who just got awarded because he served a full 6 years on the commission, which was such an inspiration.
Awesome. Arnie's great. Hey, thanks for watching. So we met at the Melrose Forward, which you guys are doing an amazing job. Tell us about, so now you're kind of embarking on this new venture here.
Yep.
What's your vision? Like, what's your platform? What do you see?
Sure. Well, so my platform is investing in what we treasure. And I think those things are a welcoming and inclusive community, services and facilities that are top-notch, leadership and sustainability, and a great, welcoming, family-friendly community. Yeah,
that's great. It's being in real estate, we hear that a lot about people who aren't from Melrose, who have chosen Melrose as a town in which they want to live, and they say, we get that a lot, where we just feel like this is a very welcoming type of community. And it's really hard to buy a house in Melrose right now.
It is.
And they are going through the slog and they're making it happen. So that's fantastic. Yeah.
And that mirrors our experience as well when we moved here. It was I first got to visit Melrose as, again, through my day job at MAPC, and I was really impressed. I felt at home right away when I saw Main Street, and so when we were in the housing market, this was at the top of our list, but the housing market is really tough. And that is something, I think I can bring my city planner expertise to the Board of Aldermen. I've dug in deep and understood where we are with our housing prices and housing needs, and I have concerns about that, but I also know the reason we're in this hot market is because people want to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think maybe might be the most underrated or underappreciated aspect of Melrose? Maybe something that people don't really know about that, outsiders that we could share. What do you think that might be?
The first thing that comes to mind is, I think Melrose, we all think of it as having this Victorian character, and yet, I've always been a little surprised. It's sort of I think I tried to research what type of house my house is, and I think I came up with folk Victorian. There's probably architects watching. Please correct me please correct me if that's right. But it's sort of these more, we have the range of homes, but these sort of simple, traditional Victorian homes that really have formed this community. And one of the things that I think is underrated is the historic value of that infrastructure and that built environment, to use my planner speak.
Yeah, very cool. Great. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is great. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Tell us again, how can people contribute, help out? What's the easiest way to get in touch?
Sure. So I'm all over social media, and like I said, we're about to launch an email newsletter. ManishaForMelrose.com has the email sign up. I have 2 Facebook pages. One that's sort of serving as more of a blog, Manisha for Melrose, and the committee to elect Manisha Bewtra, which is where you'll find out about fundraisers and events, which is run by my committee. And also I'm on Instagram, Manisha for Melrose, Instagram and Twitter, all the social media. I'm on all the social media.
Awesome.
So you shouldn't have trouble finding me.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Manisha.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for taking
so much.
The time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a fabulous Father's Day this weekend for the fathers out there, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.